Hey Briesties, if you're new here, my name is Brieboston. I cover all types of things on my YouTube channel, mainly beauty, fashion, lifestyle, glow up tips, advice, vlogs, those type of things. And today we are doing a part two to the Girl That's Not Your Friend video. Thank you guys so much for engaging with that. I had no idea that you guys would be as into it as you were, which I completely love. And so y'all asked for a part two. So here I am to deliver. Again, just like part one, we're just going to be talking about red flags or scenarios that might be happening in your friendships that maybe you should just look into deeper. There might be a deeper meaning to it, and just to make sure that the right people are in your corner. So if you're ready to learn about those things, stay tuned because we're about to get into it. Right, so we're just going to jump right in with the first reason, and that is if you are talking to someone and you speak about something in confidence, which means it's something that not a lot of people know, or maybe this is the only person that knows, and then you hear about it through the grapevine, or somebody else that you know comes back and tells you about that particular thing. That is not your friend. That is not your friend. That is a blabber mouth. Somebody who cannot hold anything, let alone some water. And you need to be very careful around these people. Just another realistic scenario for you guys, because I love to give those out. In college, I did have a friend who I would speak to in confidence about certain situations with my relationship, with my lifestyle, and it actually not only got back to people that I didn't want it to go back to, but it got back to the person that I was discussing the relationship about. So that person who I was talking about our specific relationship came to me and was like, "Hey, I heard X, Y, and Z. Why am I hearing X, Y, and Z?" And I was like, "Oh, that's not good. Like, I spoke to Shardy in confidence. Why is this coming back to me? This is supposed to be a safe space, and it is definitely not, because not only does all of our mutuals know, but the person who I was talking about knows. So that is a definite no, red flag. Definitely look into that if you're going through it right now. All right, so the second reason is if they expect you to be a mindless ride or die. Now, I know that kind of is a mouthful, so I'm going to break it down with, of course, another scenario based on my life. I had a friend who we were kind of new in our friendship. We were getting really close, and it was one of those friendships where, like I said, we were really close. So she wanted to do a lot of things with me. She wanted to like go shopping with me or talk to me every day. Like we were just very close, and I could tell she had expectations of us kind of like having like an inseparable vibe, which I'm so here for the inseparable vibe. I'm such a girl's girl. I love to have best friends. I love to have friends in general, especially if we all like the same thing, like to do the same things. I mean, the more the merrier, right? Well, there was a situation where she was throwing a house party. Her and her roommates, I think, were throwing this house party, and unfortunately, with our house parties, and I don't know if I mentioned this, this is also in college. um there was like a little formula that would happen, which was that the college kids would throw the house party, and then the local people would hear about it, they'd crash the party, they would get this notion that we thought we were better than them because we were in school and they weren't, and then that turned into something violent, either a fight, an altercation, etc. So that's literally what happened in this scenario. She was throwing the party. I remember I was there helping her get ready for the party, because at that time I didn't think there was anything wrong with being a loyal friend, a ride or die. Like, I loved to be in people's lives and be like of value to people. And so I think the party, I was there for the party. I remember my boyfriend came, and I don't think I ever had the intention of spending the night, but she just had it in her head that I was gonna spend the night. And then on top of that, altercation broke out. So when that altercation broke out, of course my boyfriend's like, "Let's go, like let's get out of here. You're not staying." So what did I do? I left. Um, Hindsight 2020, it was. I don't regret my situation. I'm just gonna keep it real, y'all. I don't regret my situation. I did not abandon her. Okay, it was her party. She was the host. There was an altercation. I didn't even stay to find out how that altercation was handled. So the next day, I reach out to her and she's just giving me like the complete cold shoulder. And I'm just like, what's going on? Like, what's wrong? What's the problem? She was like, girl, you're supposed to stay with me. Like, if somebody throws hands, I expect you to throw hands too. And I'm just like, what? This had nothing to do with me. You were supposed to, manage your space. This is your home, your space. And why would you want to fight? So she's kind of giving me like a little breakdown of what happened. Basically, it did turn into an altercation. She ended up fighting a guy. It was just a mess. And I already knew as soon as she started talking about this, I was like, I'm not that type of girl. Like, that is not my type of party. I don't get down like that. This had nothing to do with me. And I don't know if this was like, you know, um, fueled by alcohol or if this was really how she was. There was definitely drinks involved. Like I said, we're college kids, but I just felt like it was so dysfunctional, so just not my cup of tea. I learned at that point I am not a ride or die, and I'm proud to say that because as a person, you need to have boundaries. You need to be comfortable telling people about. It's a good thing to have boundaries, guys. Like that is not what friendships are for. They're not for somebody to put themselves in danger and then expect you to bail them out or hold them down or be there and, succumb to whatever stupid shenanigans are happening in the moment. Like it's okay to walk away. And if that means walking away from a friendship, that's totally fine. And I highly encourage y'all to like be on that same type of time because um like SZA says, we came into this earth by ourselves. Like this is our life, and the casket only has room for one. Not to be morbid. All right. So the next reason or scenario where that's not your friend is it's a very mild flag. It's probably something that a lot of people are not going to catch, but I still think it's a important flag nonetheless, and that is if you have a friend who introduces you to another friend and you see a quality in that person that you don't agree with and that you don't think that that friend represents, but yet they're still socializing with them. And of course, I'm going to give a scenario, right? So I had a friend, um, and I remember she was talking to me about a neighbor that she had and that she was so cool with her neighbor. She was getting close with her neighbor and all these things. And I was just like, oh, that's great. I was a little sad at first because I was just like, I mean, neighbor trumps friend. Like she's with you all the time. Like y'all are probably going to get real close. And I got a little bummed out, just in my head and stuff. But anyway, she introduced me to her friend, which I did not know she was going to do, her friend neighbor. So we all went out and I met her friend neighbor, and off the bat, guys, I kid you not, this is the first link up. This is the first time I meet her. I find out that she, has some um issues with abuse, specifically DV. And she's just talking about it so candidly, like there's nothing wrong. And I'm not here to talk about DV. I'm not here to say what's right or wrong. But what I am going to say is that DV is very toxic. So if you are condoning DV behavior, huge red flag. And if you are a friend who has a friend that is okay with DV behavior, you are by association okay with DV behavior. If you're okay with DV behavior, I'm not rocking with you. So by association, you are out. I am not dealing with you. I think that is such a huge thing that people need to be mindful of. Like I get it, nobody's perfect, but if the friend that associates with you and other people at least are not like in sync with integrity, loyalty, mindset, like it's a done deal. It's done. It's over. It's not going to work. It's weird because why would you want to associate yourself with someone who believes something so dysfunctional and unhealthy and toxic? Like just like the scenario with a rotten fruit, if you put a rotten fruit with fresh fruit, guess what's going to happen? The rottenness is going to spill over into the rest of the fruit. What good does that do? None whatsoever. All right, this one is kind of like more based on me. I don't know if people are going to agree with me with this one, but if they lack integrity with you, I think that is not your friend. I feel like that could be anything. That could be money, that could be clothes, that could be opportunities, like just somebody where, you know, they know you got it. They know that you got them. They know that you're loyal. They know that you look out for your friends, and they abuse it, or they just have this notion in their head that like Bree's gonna have me. Bree got me. If anybody got me, Bree got me. That's very, very tricky. It's very tricky. You want to make sure that if someone has that mindset in their mind, that you can also say, okay, well, this person has me. Because I kid y'all not, there have been some scenarios, of course, where, of course, I had them, but when it like I never really got to exercise if they had me, because I am a very independent woman who likes to make sure that they are capable of getting things on their own, because I hate asking for help. It's my little problem. I don't like asking for help. I don't like depending on people because it can get messy. And I do have a couple examples. Um, I did have a friend um, that asked me for some money. They just, and it was really awkward because it's like we hung out years before, but I'm the type of person, like, if you're good to me, like, you're always good, like, it doesn't matter if it's been some years, whatever, you're good in my book, and so it was kind of like, I feel like they kind of took advantage of that because, of course, like I said, it's been years later and they just reached out to me randomly. Mind you, don't check on me in the last few years, don't engage with me on social media, like, just came out the woodwork with, hey, I'm kind of down right now. Can I have $20 until I get paid? And I really sat there and I spoke to God about it, because I do have some things that I'm still overcoming when it comes to finances, just to see, okay, is this person worth helping? And I thought of those things. I was just like, well, they haven't reached out to me in such and such years. They're asking for money, and I don't have the guarantee that they're going to pay me back. I decided to give them the money because at least back in those days, they did make sure I was good, and they did, do more for me than what the money was worth. And I felt like, because it wasn't a great amount of money, that they would have the integrity to pay me back just off of principle alone. Long story short, they didn't do that. They took the money, they forgot about me, and I'm no longer going to consider them a friend because, again, it's not about the money, it's about the principle. If you ask me for money and you say you're going to pay me back on a certain day, that's what I expect, because that's your word. And if your word does not hold, then my belief in you doesn't hold either. So, needless to say, we had to cut that one. And then I do have one with clothes. College, of course. I had a roommate who, we shared clothes at one point. I don't share clothes anymore, y'all. This is like back in the day. I do not do this anymore. Like, it was cute when we were younger, but we're not doing it no more. But anywho, we would borrow clothes because we were around the same size, and we did come into that semester together. Of course, we were roommates. We shared a room, so of course, like, we were always around each other in our clothes and stuff like that. And I'd be like, "Hey, girl, can I borrow this?" "Yeah, sure." "Hey, girl, can I borrow that?" "Okay." And vice versa. And then when I started dating my college boyfriend, I wasn't home as much. And first, it was a text message, not a, "Hey, can I borrow?" but, "Hey, girl, by the way, I'm wearing this today." "Oh, you, oh, really? Oh, okay." And it's like, what do you say to that except for okay? Like, what am I gonna do? Hunt you down and like pull the sweatshirt off of you? Like, I was just like, whatever. But this is when it gets crazy, y'all. So this was going on for a while, because after those little text messages and stuff, then she just started wearing it without telling me anything. And then she would post pictures in it. Yeah. And I'd be like, "Wow, that's my sweatshirt. That's my shirt. That's my shorts." Like, seriously, it was crazy. And it really hit the fan when it was time for us to move out of our college dorm. She took my clothes, y'all.
What?
She took my clothes. Like, she moved out everything before I got to the dorm. So all I could do is just gather what was left. And barely anything was left. I literally had this girl stole my clothes, bro. It's still, y'all know how much I love clothes. Y'all know how much I love my clothes, my fashion, my style. She took it. I was like, well, thanks, girl. I mean, I guess validation that I'm really her, but dang, we could have done this a different way. I could have gave you some links. I could have. Anyway, yeah, that's the stuff that I went through. But in other words, integrity is so 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 important, and definitely a red flag if your friend does not have it with you. Right, and the last one, it kind of piggybacks off of one of them in part two because I did kind of mention certain scenarios where people like secretly wish they were you. In the example of like this girl talked bad about this guy I liked and then ended up getting with him. This one kind of goes a little deeper into that because in that scenario, I really think she just wanted him, but in this scenario, it's like she wanted my life. And let's get into the example. So again, college, fun time. I was a senior, going into my senior year of college. And that summer, I ended up meeting this girl and her friend. And like on the surface, I mean, they were the type of girls I felt like I could really like associate myself with. They were pretty girls. They were very put together. They seemed to have a good head on their shoulders. And so, I tried to make it work. Um, we did kind of get cool. Like I invited the girls to my house. We went to the gym together. Like we were associated. And I remember one particular girl out of the group. She was just like she of course she took a liking to me. They both did. And I just remember her asking me like, "Hey girl, like you do such good makeup. Like, can you help me with my makeup?" And I was just like, "Oh yeah, girl, like sure." Giving her tips here and there. And I just remember looking at her face. I was like, "Girl, you're so beautiful. You have a natural contour. You really only have to do this, this, and this." Like, that was my friend. I was really putting her on, giving the girls, the tea. And I remember like, yeah, we would go out, and oh boy. So fast forward, I broke up with my college boyfriend, and I was a hot, hot mess, y'all. Like, hot mess. It was so like, oh, I didn't even recognize myself. I was in such a wreck. And I just remember like it was to the point where like I could not even go a day without crying. Like it was such a heartbreaking situation for me. And I remember I was hanging out with one of the girls, and she just randomly was just confessed to me. And I know that sounds crazy because like what do you have to confess, right? So I'm sorry, I don't tell stories in chronological order all the time, but I'm gonna do my best. Basically she told me that summer, my senior year summer, before we met, or maybe it was before and during our association, she ended up matching with my ex-boyfriend while we were together. Did not tell me about it. I'm thinking that she met me after that happened. I don't know the exact timeline of like when everything happened, but I do know that beginning of senior year, me and my ex decided to get a puppy. So stupid. Me and my ex decided to get a puppy. And the next thing you know, he's asking me if I, could ask that girl if she would dog sit the puppy for us because I was working a lot. And so I thought nothing of it. I was just like, "Hey girl, like, can you watch this puppy?" Like, and she was just like, "Yeah, no problem." So they're associating just off that. Like, you're dropping the puppy off. She's watching the puppy. You're picking the puppy up because I'm working full time at this point. So that was huge flag. And then I invited her to my birthday dinner, y'all. It was me, her, my boyfriend, I think my roommate, and maybe the other friend. Yep, and the other friend. And we're all sitting at dinner, and no one is telling me anything. I mean, it's like nothing is happening. This is before, y'all. This is before she confessed. So, like, this is just the timeline. Nothing is happening. I mean, we went out, we had hookah. Um, I'm thinking, like, should I drop? No, I'm not gonna drop any videos. I was just like, I still have the videos, like everything, like It was crazy. I don't feel like giving nobody clout right now. But anyway, um, yeah, it was insane. Now that I think back on it, and it severely increased my trust issues because she's confessing, right? She's like, I'm sorry, didn't mean for it to be this way. The whole time she could have said something. And kind of goes back to me, like, if I'm ever in a situation like that, I am not going to hold back my tongue. If somebody's significant other keeps making a pass at me, I'm going to say something because you don't deserve to be, that person does not deserve to be with you. And my loyalty to you is so much more important than you having this temporary happiness with this person that's hurting you through me. That's, my God, it gives me the ick. Probably why I don't have friends because I'm a little too real for some people. But yeah, those are my that's not your friend reasons for part 2. Again, let me know in the comments if any of these have happened to you, if you have any feedback on the reasons that I gave you, or anything you want to share. I am ready to hear it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.